Welcome back to The Oddity Shop, you little oddballs, the podcast where we
tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre, and sometimes a little bit of gratefulness stories from around the world. It's Thanksgiving month, you know.
I'm your curator, Kara.
Hi,
this
Kara.
Is your hi. This is your, that sounded like a AA or something. Hi, Kara. This is your curator, Zach. Hi, Zach. Ew.
How are you?
I am doing all right. I did your most favorite thing ever yesterday.
You got to pet 15 puppies at once?
Sarcastic.
You got to pet 0 puppies?
No, I got no puppies. I had to give blood.
Yeah, no, I'm selfish. I'll keep my blood to myself.
And then immediately after, I had to take Delilah for another emergency vet visit, which is the second one in 1 month, which is...
2 of you just need to be put in bubbles at this point.
I thought you were going to say put down. Oh my God.
No, not that. With it, I will say this episode today, I'm gonna just preface this for everyone.
You're putting us all down.
But yeah, just your mood, not your life.
Okay, so really quickly, I didn't tell you this, or obviously our listeners, but it was probably about a month ago at this point. And I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Okay. So every time I would blow dry my hair, right? So I'd be using my Dyson, just blow drying my hair.
Yes.
I would hear somebody yelling at me, talking in my ear, aggressively, or just weird shit, right? So it would be to the point though where it was this is weird. And so I looked it up and there is a phenomenon.
Phonic hallucinations.
Yeah, but that's not what this was. This was
You're finally going crazy.
No, this was weird. Okay. This was so prominent of a male voice, a woman voice, but then really male. You're not seeing that? Okay.
That was a gnat for sure.
I pray it is. Anyway.
It's finally gone from my room to yours.
Good. Because I know you were sick of it. I'll take it. Anyway, that was probably a month and a half ago. And it never happened again. It happened for 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
That's what's weird. But today, now, I had an exceptionally bad day today. I'm in a very good mood for having such a bad day. I'm trying really hard to rework my brain, okay? Because the brain is power. So I'm trying really hard. But on my way home, something kept pulling my hair.
That nap.
While I was driving.
Someone's trying to talk to you. You better figure it out.
It was weird as hell, but in different places too. I would get a pull at the top, a pull at the bottom. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But what if it's something bad? So
sit with your black mirror, do some introspection. It's probably family though. The veil is thin.
It probably is, because what did Tim tell me? It's when I'm stressed out, my grandma's usually around, or family, but what if it's not? And that's what freaks me out. You know what I'll do? I'll go in your room and see if the owl
there you go, little sun catcher
is moving, because if that's happened, then it's grandma.
Then you know.
Nani, are you around?
We could do a tarot reading about it, because remember, I'm still doing free readings on Patreon.
You want to pull a card right now for me?
Oh, not right now for you, but
fine.
We could do
Bye.
it. Okay, what else is new?
That's really it, I think. I got my blood drawn.
I don't have anything that exciting. I can hardly stand today. My glutes are on fire because I started a new workout program that is
cute.
Oh, this one's hard. It's hard. And I'm actually trying to get it done in the timeline, but it's kicking my ass. Can
I interrupt you?
Go for it.
I am so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
With your workouts.
It's finally to the point now where it's become habit enough to where I feel I used to be able to talk myself out of them. And now I find myself I feel worse if I don't do it.
But I don't think you did talk yourself out of it. That's why I'm so proud of you.
Well, I dreaded them for so, I had to really talk myself up or amp myself into it. Now it's just okay, it's time.
Yeah.
And now I kind of like it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do something. I can't commit too hard to anything right now because I'm committing so much to my brain, which sounds crazy, but I've been trying so hard to do little tasks that make me feel I want to I dread life and I want to die. Putting laundry away is crippling to me. And I've been doing really good of just staying on top of it and just doing it. And I've just been on a timer kick and it's been helping me. So I'm just afraid to add something right now.
You got to do the habit stacking. There's this book that I read. I think is it Atomic Habits?
Yeah, I do have it. Should I reread it?
Yeah. So once you have one habit going.
Good.
Yep.
You put it
add one that you do right after it so that your brain doesn't have to think about it, because it's when you start to think about it is when you start to put things off or you make it bigger in your head. So if you can add one to automatically, you just go into the next one.
So
and then you build and build until you have a whole stack of habits that one just triggers the next.
Okay, so I actually, this is so bad. I own Atomic Habits and I have it on Audible and I've never finished it because I just was not in the right mindset, but I can do it now. That actually will help me. What I've been doing is I've just been telling myself I could do anything for 20 minutes and I've been setting 20-minute timers.
Perfect.
So I'm thinking that if I can just do a 20-minute workout, which sounds stupid, but I'm like, no, at least it's 20 minutes.
So I wouldn't even start there.
No,
the whole thing, especially with things you don't like to do, that like, laundry takes as long as laundry takes, right? But like, if you're trying to build something up like that, 5 minutes, because you're gonna get the adrenaline kick from doing it for 5 minutes, and then you slowly add on to it.
Okay.
To where it doesn't ever seem like a big thing.
Okay.
That's how I tricked my brain. But yeah, there's that book, and there's a Mel Robbins book. But boring. That's boring stuff.
No, this isn't boring. We might be helping other people.
There we go. That's fair.
I hope we are.
Kara reads the fun books, and I read really, really boring self-help books.
No, I need to read the self-help. I haven't read any books. Let's get real, because you know who you are. You're not holding me accountable. Let's go.
All right. Are we ready to open the shop up? I do have a question. I always have a question. Come on now. All right. If you were stranded, other than Delilah and other people, okay, so it can't be like a living thing, what is the comfort item you think you would miss the absolute most?
Wait, you're saying I can't pick it.
You're stranded.
To bring.
Okay. Right. It's not what would you bring with you? It's like if you were in a accidental stranding situation, what do you think the comfort item is that you would miss the absolute most? And
I didn't have anything with me.
Right.
Just the clothes on my body.
Pretty much.
My blankie.
But is there a specific blankie or like any blankie?
Yeah, my blankie that I can't live without and I can't sleep without.
Is this like the childhood blankie?
Oh, yeah.
Tattered?
To fuck. It can barely be washed. It has to be washed in a gentle cycle in a laundry bag. And every time pieces fall apart and I put them in my bedside drawer, I just put the pieces in there. Fun fact, which I think you do know this, but half of my blanket was like blue. But for my wedding, it's always like something old, something new, something blue. And for my something old and blue, I literally took a shred that I had and I just sewed it on the inside of my wedding dress.
How cute.
So it is to the point where I actually don't travel with my blankie in fear that I might accidentally leave it. Because I would rather suffer and not have a good sleep when I'm traveling than to never have it again. I
appreciate that because we drive way too far for the things we do. And I do not want to go 6 hours backwards. I would drop you off at your car.
So I never bring it like any. I used to have to, but I've like, that part ain't worth it. What are you bringing?
I honestly think like it would just be my bed. Because I don't sleep well anywhere
that's
that
your
I
comfort
travel.
Thing?
Like,
yeah, I guess.
I just like my bed.
That's so
like
funny.
I don't sleep well in hotels or at other people's houses. Like I think more than anything else, I would just miss having like my bed.
When you said your comfort thing, I was just thinking that's like, but I guess your bed can bring you comfort.
Right.
I wasn't thinking like, well, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, comfort item in any way. No, it would just definitely be my bed. Close second would be my phone, though, because, like, let's be honest, I'm a little bit addicted to my phone.
I got a new phone yesterday, and I can't take life. Is this your new sweater that you bought?
Not a sweater, but it's just a long sleeve shirt. It says Woosa on the front, and it's got a big old frog man on the back. Yeah.
Oh, cute. Cute.
Okay. Hey, Kara, have you ever wanted to take your spiritual practice to the next level?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're looking for something that feels truly magical and not mass produced, you have to check out My Mystical Forest.
My Mystical Forest is like stepping into your own enchanted sanctuary. They offer handmade spiritual tools crafted with care, intention, and so much heart.
We're talking tarot card holders that make your readings feel elevated, pendulum boards that bring clarity, and spirit boards to deepen your connection.
And don't forget the incense burners to set the perfect vibe, plus crystal trays to arrange and organize all your favorite stones. Everything is a labor of love made from hand-selected hardwoods.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual practitioner or just starting your journey, My Mystical Forest has the tools to empower and inspire.
Unlock the magic for yourself and seek harmony. Visit mymysticalforest.etsy.com. That's M-I Mystical Forest, and find the heirloom quality pieces that speak to your soul.
Also, for our little oddballs, for a limited time, enter code ODDBALL at checkout to receive 10% off plus a free pendulum, or simply use the link down in the show notes.
Goodbye. Okay, so yeah, we're going to get into it. So I started watching. Have you ever watched the show Yellow Jackets at all?
No.
It's good. I'm not going to give any spoilers. The cast is amazing, though.
Who's in it?
Julia Dreyfus. I always have to look up this other lady's name. She's the older sister from, not Julia Dreyfus, the older sister from Rose Red, Melanie Linsky.
Well, I can't put faces to these names, but I'm sure I know them.
Melanie Linsky has been in a bunch of horror stuff. She was in Don't Look Up. Christina Ricci. I don't have to explain that one to you. And sorry, not Julia Dreyfus. It's Juliette Lewis.
Okay.
Elijah Wood's in it, though. Like, there's so many people. The girl from Santa Clarita Diet, Liv Hewson, she played Abby in that. There's just so many people. Ella Purnell, she's kind of been blowing up. She was in the Fallout series. It's like it's a fantastic cast. It's kind of,
I've definitely heard of it. I've just never watched it.
It definitely has this like it feeling where it keeps going back and forth between them as kids and adult. It's really good. But the premise of it, without going too much into the premise of it, reminds me and is obviously heavily inspired by a story that is, I know you know this one. Some of our listeners might, but we're going to get into it because this is about the time frame, the part of the year where it happened. So imagine being surrounded by your best friends, your families. You're all heading out for what should be a fun competition and a weekend away, which all starts fine and uneventful until suddenly you're forced to face the trauma of a terrible tragedy, and for the next 72 days, you will do absolutely whatever it takes to survive. You haven't put it together yet, and that's totally fine. I can see it in your eyes. The year is 1972, and we're headed to Montevideo, Uruguay, where a local rugby team, the Old Christians Club, has just been invited to Santiago, Chile to play a match over the weekend, specifically on Saturday, October 14th.
Chile. Ooh, I am already upset.
I told you. So of course, family and friends want to go with them on the trip. And as the numbers of people grew, they realized they needed to charter a plane. You also really couldn't drive between Uruguay and Chile at this time, and there wasn't a whole lot of routes set up. So,
I'm sorry, what year is this?
1972.
72, okay.
The team was aware, though, you could charter a plane from the Uruguayan Air Force. So, like, if they weren't being used, you could basically rent their crew and their plane. And they settled on an aircraft.
That's kind of wild.
Right? I mean, hey, I imagine it was a good way for their government to make some extra money.
True.
But so they settled on a Fairchild FH-227D, or as the Air Force aptly named it, the lead sled, because it was slow and heavy.
Cute.
Yes. The tail number, by the way, on this specific plane is 571. You'll sometimes hear this story told about as Flight 571, or the Tragedy of the Andes, or also the Miracle of the Andes. There's a few names. On Thursday, October 12th, 1972, 19 players of the rugby team, plus 21 of their family members and 5 crew, in case you can't do math, that's 45, Kara.
Thank you.
All get into the plane, the government-owned aircraft, and they take off from the city of Montevideo, Montevideo. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but they're forced to stop for the evening in Mendoza, Argentina, because the weather conditions got pretty poor.
Okay.
So then on Friday, October 13th, good old Friday the 13th, they take off again to make the final leg of their journey into Chile. They're flying over the Andes Mountains. The flight's going really smoothly. People are in like generally high spirits. They're looking forward to spending some time together, cheering on their loved ones. And at about 3:15, the pilots begin to prepare for landing. But inexperienced pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Dante Hector Lagarara, he begins to make the descent. He fails, however, to realize he is doing so about 40 miles sooner than he should.
Okay, hold on. You said unexperienced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not the most well-traveled pilot.
That's just what we all want to hear in our pilot.
Absolutely. Yeah, in a plane nicknamed the Lead Sled.
Very well-traveled. Lord.
The lively energy of the main cabin starts to change when one person goes, "Aren't we getting a little bit close to the mountains?" And the next minute, the pilot, realizing his mistake, pulls the yoke as hard as he can to try to gain altitude. The mountains are quickly approaching, and the plane goes pretty much vertical because he pulled so hard. At this point, their fate is sealed. It's too late to do anything because thin air, elevation, trying to dodge a mountain, you're now straight up and the plane engines stall and the craft just straight up nosedives.
My eyes are watering.
I could not imagine. One of the ways I think I would least want to go out of this world is in a aircraft accident. Okay.
Who was it that said, "Aren't we a little close to the mountains"?
One of the players.
Okay.
Because they could see in the...
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, when you're in a plane and you're looking out, you kind of do seem super close to certain things at points. And you're just like, no, that's just like an illusion. Or like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, okay. But like to have that thought and say it out loud, like, aren't we kind of close to these like mountains? That is very terrifying to me.
Yeah. Okay. That always makes me think. One time I was flying into LaGuardia, which is, I think, one of the most terrifying airports to fly into anyway, because it's like the runway ends in the water. But it was super foggy. And I was looking down through the fog because I woke up while we were landing. I thought I was looking down at a radio tower through the clouds, like a red blinking light.
Okay.
It was the runway lights, and it was just a really heavy fog on the ground. So I'm thinking we're about to bust through the clouds, and I'm going to see like the aerial. We bust through the clouds. I'm like looking at pavement, and I just had a moment.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this when we covered flight 4...
Oh, I can't think of the right numbers.
401?
Yeah, I think it is 401.
But anyway, as I've gotten older, flying really, really does something to me. It really gives me anxiety. It never used to.
Oh, see, I don't, unless there's like the moments like that, but okay. We could go down the whole rabbit hole.
Yeah,
we got a lot more to get through. So, no, you're good. You're good. I started.
I just don't want to. I'm stalling.
Well, so is the plane. And that's right back to where we're going. So at 3:34 p.m., after stalling and nosediving, it strikes a mountain ridge and both wings and the tail cone are ripped off and shredded. A few people do get pulled out at this point.
Oh.
The fuselage makes a hard impact on a glacier and slides 3,000 feet at 250 miles an hour before slamming into a mound of ice and snow. When this happens, the seats start to push forward like falling dominoes because of the impact.
Oh.
Yes, survivors report smelling jet fuel. They kind of look around. What's left of the fuselage is wreckage, twisted and sharp metal. They saw many of their crew, the family, their friends, either horribly injured or perish. One of them, this one's tough, said they heard somebody screaming, I'm blind, when they looked over. His brain was outside of his head.
Oh.
Yeah, it was horrifying. But we have to give credit where credit's due because there are survivors who immediately sprung into action, those who are relatively unhurt. One of these being Marcelo Perez del Castillo. He was the rugby team captain, and he just goes right into captain mode, right?
And that's why he's captain. Yep.
Yeah. He begins to lead the survivors, try to organize efforts to assess damage, figure out what's going on with people, get everyone to safety.
I have goosebumps.
There's another player, Robert Canessa, and he is going to come up a lot. He is only 19 at a time, but thank God he was a medical student. So he starts to use his skills to help the wounded as best as he can.
I'm sorry. What are the ages of everybody?
I don't have the ages of everybody.
Okay. He was 19.
And I should have. Okay. He was one of the younger players, though.
Wow.
So he starts to triage people, right? Like, okay, this person we can help. This person we can't. This one's
oh my God. Gone. Could you imagine?
No. He's like draining fluids, making tourniquets. It's upon the crash, or in the hours afterwards, 12 of the 45 people, including most of the crew, had perished. That's either from the initial strike, the crash landing, or from their immediate injuries afterwards.
Ugh.
But they go right into survival mode. So once everyone was attended to as much as they could, Team Captain Marcelo begins to give orders: salvage what we can, find food, find supplies. Then we have Gustavo Zerbino and Eduardo Strach. Okay. They start to build a makeshift shelter.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to take basically parts of the luggage and wreckage to try to seal off the fuselage because it's darn cold up in the Andes.
Oh.
So anyone who could do anything got to work. They stomped SOS into the snow. They tried to flag down one or two aircrafts that went by. The luggage that wasn't used to block the hole, they made a giant cross with. This is all still on the 13th.
No, I'm sorry, because I know you have a lot to tell us. But I just have to say, like, I have to commend these people because what great humanity.
I think I would shut down.
I was just going to say that because a lot of people, you know, it's the fight or flight. And some people would just be like, nope, I can't do it. And that's so understandable.
Absolutely. I mean, it's shocked.
To be like, I just watched my loved ones die or whatever the case may be. So it is so understandable to go either way. And sometimes I think that when people say the fight or flight, they get upset when they're like, I don't know what I would do. It's okay because you don't know what you're going to do in those. You can only hope that you would be.
And we'll say the tenacity of these people. Holy crap.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
So this is day one. Day passes into night. The 14th comes around and another 5 passengers pass away either from the injuries they sustained, the cold, or just, like we said, just plain shock. But everyone starts to go right into, okay, what can we do? They're using pieces of aluminum to melt snow and collect water. They're rationing the food that they could find, which was mostly chocolate, wine, almonds, and canned mussels.
At this point, do they know like where they're at to where other
They just know they're somewhere between Santiago and Mendoza. They're in the Andes, but 2 planes had gone over.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
So they do start to try to collect radio parts and build a functioning radio, which they are able to do so.
My God.
And on the 3rd day, right, spirits were lifted a little bit further because one of the players, Nando Parado, comes out of the coma he's been in for 3 days. And he just goes right into like helping everybody in survival.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Right now, you know, they're still seeing some planes. They're living off the food. You know, they're trying to do all these things to be rescued. So, I mean, spirits are as good as they can be. But at least right now, they're sort of high. Over the next couple coming days, though, while stranded on the mountain, a few more pass away. The supplies run out and hunger is starting to set in.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't imagine you had that many supply. Oh my God.
And they're so high up in the mountains that there's no animals, there's no food.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
You can't go. Yeah.
Ugh.
But their hopes are lifted again because they are able to get a functioning makeshift radio. Now they can't call out on it, but they can hear, and they're able to hear about efforts being made to rescue them.
Okay.
So this really helps.
Yeah, that would be like uplifting.
And I do love the ingenuity of these people. So they start to make blankets out of the seat backs. They turn the seat bottoms into snowshoes. They collected pieces of dark plastic to make sunglasses to prevent snow blindness.
What incredible humans.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was just like the teamwork and everything that went into it. It was astounding.
I will say when you're in like panic mode, if you can get it together, you do, like, your brain does do some things that like you would have never come up with otherwise.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, when you're faced with survival, you will do things.
Wow.
Then we get to the 9th day, though. This is not a fun day. This is now the 22nd of October, and Susanna Parado, the sister of Nando, perishes.
Ugh.
His mom had already perished on the flight.
Oh.
Susanna dies from injuries, exhaustion, and quite obviously the effects of starvation.
Oh my God.
There are now only 27 of the original 45. And this is when they start to have a conversation that nobody wanted to have. They are set on surviving. They won't for much longer without food. Fear was setting in and people were losing hope. Now, those who were perishing in the crash and afterwards are also very well preserved because it is below freezing. I mean, they couldn't even go to the bathroom outside without it freezing. So it's cold. The members of the crash, though, are, however, very, very, very Catholic. And they thought that they would be committing a sin that would lead to eternal damnation if they gave in and consumed their fallen friends and family. Kara just looked like she was going to say something, and I know. Because
I know we've talked about cannibalism multiple times, and I feel like that my thought has probably changed.
So actually, this is something I came across that I haven't seen before. And people use cannibalism throughout this story, but it seems to be there's a turn lately. Not using the term cannibalism in a survival situation. It actually would be necrophagy, which is the eating of...
Okay, I like that because cannibalism is so negative.
Cannibalism, they're now saying, is with an intent, right? You've set out, you've intended to. This is
to eat that. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that.
Anyway, whether it's the passing of Susanna, the ultimate hunger, or their unrelenting absolute drive to survive, they do make the decision that they would resort to necrophagy. Now, they didn't do this until everybody in the group agreed to do so. And further, everyone agreed that if they passed away, they were choosing to donate their body to the food supply.
I like this. Okay, I like this. I mean, I don't like it, but...
Right. Yeah. The biggest hangups, though, really came from their faith, right? Like, they really thought eternal damnation until somebody said, well, this isn't too far off from communion. So much like Jesus giving his body and blood for the people. One survivor even quotes at this time, John 15:13, "No man hath greater love than this, that he lay down his life for his friend." So it kind of helps them where they decide every time that they're going to consume somebody, it's going to be a ritual. It's going to be something that we give thanks for, that we are only consuming enough to survive.
I do like that, though.
Yeah, I mean, they had to logic through it, and I can't blame them.
No.
Canessa later, so Canessa does survive. I'll give you that spoiler right now, but he later says, our common goal was to survive, but what we lacked was food. We had long since run out of the meager pickings we'd found on the plane. There was no vegetation or animal life. And after just a few days, we had the sensation that our bodies were consuming themselves just to remain alive. Before long, we would become too weak to recover from starvation. We knew the answer, but the answer was just too terrifying to contemplate. The bodies of our friends and teammates preserved outside in the snow and ice contained the vital, life-preserving proteins that would keep us alive. But could we do it? For a long time, we agonized. I went out in the snow and prayed to God for guidance. Without his consent, I felt I would be violating the memory of my friends, that I would be stealing their souls. We wondered whether we were going mad to even contemplate such a deed. Had we turned into brute savages? Or was this the only alternative for us to survive? Truly, we were pushing the limits on our fear, which I think that quote just says how difficult this is.
So I think that it would have been easier once that discussion was had to be like, hey, I give my body to you guys. But the people that had already passed that didn't have that conversation, that's hard.
With that, too, they did put strict limits on who of those people who couldn't decide, right? Like there were bodies that were off limits, mothers, young children, those kind of things. They hardened.
I didn't even think about children. Oh my God.
So Canessa's the first to eat. He has a small piece of tissue that was cut with broken glass. Others follow suit over the coming days until everybody had to.
And we're just eating this raw?
No, they were thawing it in water and then trying to use kinetic energy to heat it up.
Okay.
So smashing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The best they could.
Well, yeah, I was just curious.
Koche and Inciardi and Numa Takrati, they literally would only eat the absolute bare minimum to survive because they were just totally revulsed. Javier Maythal and his wife Liliana were the last ones to even attempt it. Liliana is at this point the last surviving female. That's something they had to live with for the rest of their life. Many struggle. I couldn't even imagine.
No.
Whew, okay. So more days go by, and unfortunately, they are not at the end of their tragedies. October 29th, an avalanche occurs that hits the fuselage where they'd all been camping out. They are buried in ice and snow. Parts of the plane are buried. People are buried. It takes them almost 2 days to totally dig out, which they do on October 31st. And in total, they find 8 more bodies, including Liliana, the last surviving female, and team captain Marcelo Perez.
No! Not our captain. We needed him.
There are now only 19 people left at this point. And this is just from October 13th to the 31st.
I'm sorry. And people might mad at me for saying this. Y'all went through a plane crash and now you're this many days in. That's a lot of people still, though. It's
impressive what this count goes from here on out, because we are not even close to being out of the woods yet.
Because even the first crash to have as many people that survived is still amazing to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, only 12, only less than a third died in a plane crashes.
Which I'm not saying it's like good and a good.
No, you know it's just surprising.
But it's impressive.
Yes.
And even now, 19 out of 45, I get it. It's not a lot, but it's still a lot to have still survived all of this.
And they still have a lot more to survive. So,
God.
From the end of October through mid-December, the survivors maintain life as best as they can. So they're rationing, they're still collecting water, they're fighting to keep warm. Disease, despair, and fear get stronger by the day. But the one thing that keeps them going, remember, is that they know the search is still going on. They can still hear this on the radio. On the 58th day, which is insane, December 9th, their hopes are destroyed and they must change plans because they now hear on the radio that the search has been called off. And these people who are alive in the mountains hear them announce on the radio that they are certainly dead at this point.
Oh my God.
At this point, 3 more have passed away.
I think I'd give up.
This is where we were talking about too earlier. Either you give up or you keep fighting. And
I just don't know, because I just don't know. Like, your body, soul, mind, everything has endured so much at this point.
And they're going to keep enduring.
I don't even know how these people gave what they did.
The crazy thing to think about too is that they found a camera among the wreckage. And they are taking pictures of what they call the biggest points throughout this. And in almost all the pictures, you can see that the men are smiling. Like they're building each other up.
Like they're trying.
Yeah. So some of these incredibly brave people, though, who against all odds decides they're going to take it upon themselves. And on December 12th, Canessa, the med student, Parado, the coma survivor, and Antonio, nicknamed Tintin, last name Vizintin, so Antonio Tintin Vizintin.
I like that.
They take a small amount of supplies and they start their trek across the Andes with hope of finding help to bring back and rescue everyone. So they know they just need to head west, that they were hoping that Chile would be just beyond the mountain ridge because, hey, they were starting to land. It has to be right there.
Oh, God.
It takes them 3 days, and on December 15th, they reached the top of the ridge and realized help is a lot farther than they expected.
Oh, no.
Because remember, they started landing 40 miles early.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, did the pilot survive?
They realized, though, they don't have enough supplies for the 3 of them to continue on. So Tintin returns to the crash site to help conserve rations, and he is going to help everyone survive while Canessa and Parado continue on.
Okay.
They continue for days. Somewhere between December 19th and the 21st, they start to see signs of vegetation, some plants, some grass, little streams, signs of life.
Okay.
Finally, across a river from them, they see a man on horseback, and they're shouting to him.
Oh my God.
They can't hear what each other are saying. So the man takes a rope, a rock, and a loaf of bread and a piece of paper and uses the rock to launch all that over the river to them.
Okay.
The men write on the paper,
crazy.
I come from a plane that fell in the mountains. I'm Uruguayan. We've been walking for 10 days. There are still 14 injured people on the mountain, and they throw the rock back.
Okay.
This guy, turns out his name is Sergio Catalan, and Catalan rides to the nearest village to alert authorities.
Okay, Sergio.
Yeah. Okay. He comes back with food saying more help is coming, and on December 22nd, the Chilean army arrives to the crash site via helicopter, and they try to pull out as many of their survivors as they can. Now, the weather does turn bad, so they take only half of them.
Oh my God. How did they pick?
Worse shape.
Yeah. Okay.
The next day, they do come back for the rest of them. Yeah. The weather turned. They couldn't get back.
I know, but could you imagine you're that close and then you're like, are they going to come back?
Dude, all in all, though, 72 total days from the crash to when the ordeal was finally over. 16 only of 45. And not 16 only, 16 miraculously of 45 had survived, and they're immediately given medical care so they can start to heal up.
Okay. I just have to say one thing, because at the top of the episode, I was going to say something. I was like, no, I don't want to say it because I'm not going to do it. But I keep thinking about trying to do 75 hard. But I might.
Oh my God, I could never.
Hold on. Right? But now these people did 72 days in the Andes Mountains unprepared.
My entire thought on 75 hard is I think it's way too restrictive. It's like a fad diet.
I would change some things, but I'm just saying.
Me and one of my old coworkers did a version of it where we went through the 75 hard. We made our non-negotiables and held each other through it for 75 days. And that was a lot more doable. But
what I'm saying is, if they can do this, anyone can do 75 hard.
If they can do this, you can sleep for a night without your blankie, and I can fall asleep in a hotel without my bed.
Well, I'm not going to do that. Holy crap.
Yeah. So the public quickly names it the Miracle of the Andes. And as quickly as they named it, their celebration turns to horror and revulsion.
Wait, what?
Because the survivors start to tell the story about how they survive, and the photos come out. Now, remember I told you they took a lot of photos along the way, and there's one photo in particular that shows a group of men sitting on plane chairs in front of the fuselage with their arms around each other, smiling. It looks like they were not having a good time, but it looks like they're smiling, laughing, having a good time. And to the right in the bottom, you can see a human spine and what looks to be other remains. I mean, this is a picture that you can go Google right now. It is truly
I've seen it.
Gut-wrenching.
But
I will say, eventually with time, the public opinion does shift.
Yeah.
Does shift back to sympathy and admiration because the people really started to tell their story, how they treated the past loved ones, that they only did so out of necessary, that they would only eat as much as they could, that they made it almost a religious ritual, right? Now, like I said, I was reminded of this story because I was watching Yellow Jackets. There's been movies, documentaries, TV shows, all of these things that it inspired.
I didn't realize Yellow Jackets was about this.
It's inspired by.
Okay.
But I think instead of focusing on the pop culture that it inspires, I think what we should talk about is how the survivors were inspired. Because most of them didn't just like go back to living a quiet, normal life. As far as I could tell, as of last year, 14 of the 16 survivors are still alive. Chochi and Javier Maythal, they both died of cancer since the incident. But the rest of them, 100% alive. So let's go through them. Nando Prado, he's the one who lost most of his family. He was in the coma. He makes the trek with Canessa. He becomes a motivational speaker, sharing his lessons on surviving, leadership, and resilience. And
I mean, good.
Right.
As
he
you
traveled
should.
the world doing this. A quote from him says, "I'm not a hero. I'm a survivor who discovered the power of life when everything else was taken away."
Which I do like that, because I feel like a lot of times, and I'm not discrediting them, so nobody come for me, but I feel like a lot of times we say like, oh my God, you're a hero, or like whatever. But like,
he didn't have a choice. Yeah.
I don't want to say these people aren't heroes. Exactly. Like they didn't have a choice. So maybe there are a lot of heroic things that they did, which there are. But I understand them being like, no, you cannot label me a hero. I did not have a choice in this matter. I just survived.
I would still argue him who crossed 40 miles on foot.
Oh,
definite hero. But
that part is heroic. But this whole scenario is not.
Yeah, it's just tragic.
Yeah.
Kanessa, the 19-year-old med student who also made the trek with Nando, he goes on to become a pediatric cardiologist.
Oh, I love it. Good
frequently job. Does public speaking as well. He wrote a book titled I Had to Survive, which talks about how this instilled in him the mission to help others. So that's where that quote came from that I read earlier.
I don't know if I could read that book. I was just thinking about it, but I don't know if I could do it. It would be tough.
Another quote from him that I thought kind of puts into perspective what you were saying is, and I think this is incredible, right? He said, "We all have our own Andes to cross."
No. I mean, yes, but not.
Right.
He is like putting that so lightly.
Gustavo Zerbino and Eduardo Strauch, the original guys who were starting to make the shelter, they both survive.
Okay.
Zerbino becomes a business leader, motivational speaker, and president of the Uruguayan Rugby Union and does a lot of work with youth rugby teams.
I love that.
Eduardo, he became a renowned architect and artist and published a book called Out of the Silence, which talks about the philosophical and psychological aspects of the survival.
Oh.
Which our philosophy artist guy, his quote, "In that white silence, I learned that death is part of life and life is stronger than death."
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Tintin, he becomes a lawyer and a civil servant and has a hand in creating a lot of the documentaries of what happened.
Okay.
And just for, lack of going through everyone and telling their stories, that's just a few of the notable survivors. But everyone really goes on to take this like mission of, making a difference in the world. And
yeah, that's incredible.
It's just, to me, the fact that it's not wild, right? But it's surprising how many die in the first 14 days.
Yeah.
Then that number from 19 only drops 3 more over the course of you're talking almost 2 months at that point.
That's what I was saying. Like it's, yes, I understand. It's horrific how many people passed away, right? And that's awful. But the amount of survivors in this story is crazy. And
the ones who then survived from 1972 to 2025, we've only lost 2 cents.
Right. So here's what, actually that's crazy. But I understand where at that time, like the media would come for how they survived, right? And like these pictures being like, oh my God, I can only imagine the headlines. Like, did you see this picture of like, I can only imagine, right? But in that, is that your stomach or mine?
Mine.
But in that time period, to have, I shouldn't say time period, for these young gentlemen, we don't know all their ages, but they're fairly young, to have the wherewithal to be like, hey, we are going to document this and we're going to be happy about it. We are going to try to make our time uplifting.
Their entire thing was always to keep everybody's spirits up. I wouldn't say they were happy. That's what I'm saying.
No, I didn't mean that. To just make yourself happy.
But they wanted to build each other up, and their entire thing, they wanted to, so the camera, they knew it was a film camera, they only had so many photos, so they always try to document the biggest moments, but not the horrific moments.
But that's what I'm saying, the wherewithal because I'm sorry, let's just go back at 19, I would not have the wherewithal to be like, hey, we need to keep everybody upbeat, we need to keep everybody spirits high. We need to rally, the ralliest we've ever done. And we should document these great times and these big moments in this, because we're going to want to remember them when we get through this.
I
That's
think
wild.
I don't know if it was as much for them to remember. I think it was in case
or that
they didn't.
Either way.
And to show people the resilience rather than remember, because a lot of them did struggle very, very hard.
I'm not taking
with
that.
Their decisions.
Yeah, I don't mean to take that away from them. But what I'm saying is like either way, to have that mindset.
Yeah.
Is incredible.
Yeah, because I'd be like, don't take my fucking picture.
Exactly. You say that now.
Hangry. Yeah, I do. I don't like having my picture taken.
You got that from Denise.
I know. It's just incredible. It's incredible. So I know Kara started this last week with her episode about being grateful for the things that Earth gives you. But, a lot of times we can get stuck in a mindset of lack. You're so focused on the things you don't have. And if we stop and be grateful and think about all the things we do have, holy crap. So with that, I don't want an oddity write-in this week. I think it'd be really cool if either on the chats on Patreon or if you want to write in on the show that we could read back to you guys, is what we're grateful for.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah. Gratefulness is the highest form of energy. It brings your vibes up for the day. And I think if you can get into, and this ties into actually where we were talking earlier, and I didn't even mean for this to be full circle, right? Of getting that mindset right.
Yeah.
Right. Stopping that small things from turning into the frogs, right? And those things that you just blow up in your brain. If you can stop and think of the things that you're grateful for, even if it's as simple as the air you breathe unconsciously, you can start to change your mindset.
For sure. It could be the smallest little thing that happened in your day. You can be grateful for anything, but we don't think about that. At the end of the night, we should. But that would be fun. So you could DM us. You could just comment on this episode or email us. And
again, one of our biggest gratefuls is we're grateful for all you guys. Yay.
I would actually love this. If we got enough gratefulness notes and letters, it would be really fun to just read them all in a Patreon episode, even if they're anonymous, because it is really nice to hear what other people are grateful for, because it makes you also feel grateful or, lucky or, whatever in your life. So that would actually be really fun. I hope we get a decent amount, because I would love to, even if I just do it for Patreon, I would love to read them all back.
Perfect.
That'd be really fun.
All right. That being said,
emoji?
I'm grateful for you. Oh,
what's a grateful emoji? The dove. The dove is I
think a dove is appropriate for this one. I don't think I want to do anything related to the episode. So I think a dove.
That isn't the dove emoji have a little
flower
strand in their mouth or something. Yeah. I don't know. That makes me feel grateful. I don't know why, but let's do that.
That works. Perfect. Okay. All right. But I'm grateful for you. I'm also grateful for closing the shop up for the day, because your boy is tired, and
I'm tired too.
I hate to say this. We heard my stomach growl. I am feeling snacky, which sounds terrible.
I also think that my stomach was growling though too. So I don't know if we know who is who, but if you hear it, it's one of us.
Oh God, what a episode to be hungry at the end of. All right. What do these people need to do to
we gotta go
close the shop down?
The most important thing you could do for us is to creep it real, my little oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.